Hi, Capricorn. Welcome to your July 2026 Tarot and Astrology reading. We have a lot to talk about, so we're going to dive right into the astrology and talk about what's going on this month. So if y'all remember, I talked about in June about Uranus and Gemini square the North Node and the South Node, which are currently in Pisces and Virgo. And how that was kind of shifting reality beneath our feet, and new things were coming, and we were on the edge of a threshold. Well, July is where we walk through that threshold, and it's already influencing us. But as we get closer to the formation that I'm going to talk about with the outer planets between Jupiter and Uranus and Neptune and Pluto, there's a really interesting way that humanity is changing. And, if you watch any mundane astrologers, they're going to talk about Mars and Gemini conjoining Uranus and Gemini on July 4th, which is the 250th anniversary of the United States, and how that could, there's a pattern, right? When astrologers look at patterns, they're pattern collectors, if you will. So we'll look at the past and see, what was going on when these planets in the past were conjoining with each other, were happening. And there is a pattern of wars beginning, bombs happen, things like that. So, I'm not one of those astrologers that likes to fearmonger anybody. So I don't talk about the wars. I don't talk about politics. I don't talk about things like that. I talk about the conscious collective. The conscious collective is like the consciousness that we're all building together out here outside of us, right? And then we have our own consciousness, self-consciousness as well. And as we're starting July, things are going to start shifting very rapidly because of where the energy is and because of how unhinged everybody is. And I wouldn't say everybody's unhinged, but the people who are not grounded, people who are not self-aware, people who are not prepared for these big things and big changes happening, people who don't like changes, those are the people that are going to be a little bit more unhinged than the ones that have been paying attention. Instead of just getting lost in the rhetoric and the anger and the frustration of things, the people that are paying attention are building a different kind of future for themselves already. And July is going to sort of force everybody to start building a different kind of future for themselves. Even though we do have Mars and Gemini conjoining Uranus and Gemini on the 4th. On the 5th, we have Mars trine Pluto retrograde. On a microcosmic scale, Mars trine Pluto retrograde is really taking action on the ways that you need to change yourself. Pluto retrograde is an inner transformation. This is where we're, are we allowing ourselves to be detached? Are we absorbing things? Are we are we observing or absorbing? Are we detached? Or are we unattached, right? Or are we attached or detached is what I meant to say. So that's on a microcosmic level. On a bigger level, there's going to be a lot of ego projection. Yes, it's a trine. Yes, Mars and Pluto are working together right now, but those are two really big hitters sort of working together. So it does feel like an ego battle between egoic people. I'm just gonna say it that way because it really could be anybody. Like, I want everybody to be really safe on the 4th because you don't know, with Uranus and Gemini, you don't know what's going to happen. Like, it's going to be a big fat surprise. The way that things are going, some people may not be as surprised as other people. On the 6th, we will have the Sun in Cancer square Saturn in Aries, which is a little bit more egoic battling happening. This is really where your identity and your discipline is kind of clashing with each other. So allowing the emotional identity to take a back seat for a minute. And, this is like pause before you react kind of energy. The beginning of July, the first week of July is pause before you react kind of energy. Utilize that pause, utilize that pause. It will come in very handy. If you haven't been practicing the pause and you don't know what that pause is, start practicing it now. I've been saying ever since Uranus stepped into Gemini last year for a minute, I've been saying, work on your nervous system, work on your nervous system. It's going to be very important as we continue into this year to have a calm nervous system so you're not reacting at everything. I think I've been talking about that for a few years, actually. On the 7th of July, we'll have Neptune retrograde until December 12th. So when Neptune is direct, there is dissolving of reality. There's fantastical life. There's kind of, it's more idealistic than realistic when Neptune is retrograde. It's more of an inner journey of that idealism things, but it's almost like you're getting like a reality check almost with Neptune retrograde. It's like, oh, can't do that. That's too idealistic. It needs more details over here. It's, stuff like that. And for you guys, there is going to be a lot of energy when it comes to how you feel about yourself and how you allow others to help you or hurt you when it comes to how you feel about yourself. I've said this to several signs that I've already done readings for. This is the time for you to move things and people out of your life, move your environment, whatever, anything that is keeping you small, anything that is keeping you from moving forward, anything that's keeping you from building the life that you know in your soul you need to be building. July is going to show you that that's just, it's time. You can't play small anymore, and you can't let other people or environments keep you restricted anymore as well. On the 9th, Venus will be in Virgo until August 6th. This is going to be in your 9th house. You may find that you want to travel, or you may find that you are wanting to take like classes and stuff with Venus there. You could find that you have new hobbies that you can make money off of as well, or new ways to trade things. But, this is sort of like a, allowing yourself to see the reality of, what loving yourself could be, because this whole month for you is about worthiness and how you are creating self-worth through your resources, creating self-worth through, everything that you're doing throughout the day, the habits that you have every day and things like that. We will have, on the 12th, we'll have Mercury Cazimi in Cancer. And on the 14th, we'll have the Cancer new moon. Now, this is going to be in the house of your relationship. So you may find that exes come back. You may find that you still have some emotions that are stuck in your body that you need to get out from the past, from exes from the past. But this new moon in Cancer with that Cazimi, like right before it, is really helping you to engage with your emotions. So don't shut yourself down. Don't be like, oh my God, I have emotions right now. One of my best friends is a Capricorn sun, and the way that she has opened up in the last, oh my gosh, I want to say 5 years since I have known her, the way that she's opened up and just let herself cry is amazing. And she is not ashamed of it. And so I wish every Capricorn energy to be like that. Capricorn moons, Capricorn rising, Capricorn sun, Capricorn Mercury. I don't care who you are. Let yourself feel your feelings during that new moon, because you're making space for new things to come in, new relationships to show up. And it doesn't have to be romantic. It can be platonic friendships, co-workers, partnerships, things like that. So now we're going to talk about the aspects that are creating this very interesting formation. All of those outer planets, Jupiter, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto, are going to be at 4 degrees in the sky. On July 19th, we'll also have the Libra moon at 4 degrees, also creating some oppositions and squares. It sort of, when you look at the chart, it looks like an envelope being opened, like an opened up envelope. Somebody said, you've got mail. So it's interesting because, you know, I think that there's going to be a lot of technological things that are also going to be changing with this time frame. You cannot go back to the way that you've been doing things. Everything moving forward has to be in a new kind of direction that you are ready to open yourself up to. So these are the transits. Uranus will be sextile Neptune retrograde. This is where story is going to be changing, your daily home habits changing, the way that you take care of yourself. You may be having to pay attention to your body a little bit more. With Uranus in the 6th house for you guys, you may find that there are some illnesses that you need to, that are just unexpected that show up, right? That you need to pay attention to, but that's a blessing, remember? Just because Uranus unearthed it doesn't mean that he's a bad guy. They're just telling you, you know, pay attention. This is something you need to pay attention to. Uranus in the 6th house will be trine Pluto retrograde. This is going to be an unexpected door opening up for you, possibly with your career. On the 20th, we'll have Jupiter opposite Pluto retrograde. Jupiter in the 8th house is awesome because I remember when Jupiter was in my 8th house, which was Taurus, so it was several years ago. I just received the most wonderful gifts when Jupiter was in my 8th house. So like, be open to receive. That is the biggest advice that I can give you guys with this Jupiter and Leo transit for the next year. Be open to receive. Allow yourself to say yes when people want to help you. I know it's hard for you guys to do that, but be open to receive. Like, honestly, I did not realize how blessed and how abundant I was until I opened myself up to receive. And then we'll have Jupiter opposite Pluto retrograde and Jupiter sextile Uranus. Jupiter opposite Pluto is going to bring up a lot of ego, big emotions and big ego things. Don't argue with people. And Jupiter sextile Uranus is going to be that shift of life. And it's not about you becoming someone else. It's about like you being that person that you've always wanted to be, that you've always needed to be for yourself. You know, we grow up with these fantastical ideas our whole lives, and then we become adults and we're like, that's not even possible. So you have to figure out what it is that you know that you need to do in order to be your true self and what, you know, where you're going, and not be afraid to do it. The sun will be ingressing Leo on the 22nd until August 22nd. Again, in your 8th house, so shining a light on other people helping you. If you express your needs, those gifts will start shining and showering on you, I promise. On the 23rd, we'll have the sun in Leo square Chiron in Taurus, and we will have Mercury stationing direct. With Mercury stationing direct, things are going to feel really slow and like they're sort of dragging on. And with the sun square Chiron, we could really like second guess ourselves or tell ourselves that we're not doing as well as we think we're doing, or, you know, whatever. So remember that on the 23rd, mark it on your calendar. Don't be hard on yourself at all. If it's a day where you need rest, get your rest. Make sure that you're good and rested and ready to go. On the 26th, we'll have Saturn retrograde, which is your ruling planet. Saturn will be retrograde until November 28th, and the North Node will be regressing into Aquarius. The North Node goes backwards. So we'll have the North Node in Aquarius and the South Node in Leo until March of 2028. So that's also going to be changes with humanity and how that's going to look as well. Big changes when it comes to what humans are doing with their lives and what it's going to look like. On the 29th, we'll have the full moon in Aquarius, and we will have a Jupiter cazimi that will be opposite that full moon in Aquarius. And that's going to be a really big deal. That's going to be, you know, that's going to be something where, like, if you are still attached to expectations in your life, that full moon is going to shine the light on it so that you can be, what? Open to receive. No more expectations. When we place expectations on our life, We get highly disappointed. Have standards all day long. Don't put expectations. If you expect people to be a certain way, they will never, ever, ever, ever be that way. All right, Capricorn. Shoo. All right. The first card that came out was the moon. What is that talking about? So we have that Capricorn full moon just before we hit July 1st. So June 30th, we'll have that Capricorn full moon. And we have 10 of Swords. Oh, lots of overthinking, I think. And then we have the King of Cups. So interesting, the King of Cups has shown several times. I do feel like this is the Cancerian energy that we have with the Cancer new moon. And, like I said, it's with the Cazimi there, it could be a very emotional time. It could be a time where you're overthinking everything as well. But also with this King of Cups, you could be dealing with, a water sign. And I almost want to say that in your mind, it's over. And by even the Aquarius full moon at the end of July, you knew it was over. Or at this Capricorn full moon, you knew it was over with that water sign. On the bottom, we have the Three of Cups. And to me, it feels like you're almost it's time for you to get together with people and find some joy. That's what this feels like. It feels like it's high time for you to find some joy in life and allow yourself to kind of move forward from all of this. 10 of Swords is just so heavy for you guys. I don't want you to feel that way. That's kind of a bummer. Three of Cups. We also have the Three of Wands, and we also have the Knight of Pentacles. So you're moving away. I feel like you're moving away from some kind of hurt and pain from a water sign, or this is just you being really emotional, Capricorn, to be honest. But it's funny because people don't think that Capricorns are really emotional, and you guys really are. I think you guys are more emotional than Pisces are, to be honest. Just saying. But I do feel like there's movement away from someone, and you might also be kind of waiting for someone to approach you, and it doesn't have to be in a romantic way. It could even be in a work sort of way. Let's see. Let's clarify. Ooh. Moon. That was really the card that wanted to come out. Not sure what it is. It fell on its face. 10 of Swords. Four of Swords on the moon. So the Cancer new moon, I feel like during the moon phases, it's time to rest, especially with this Mercury retrograde. You don't need to be starting anything new. You can work on projects from the past, things like that, upgrade things from the past if you'd like to, but I don't really want to see you. I'm saying that to a workhorse, I know. But I do feel like there is some rest needed. And the reason why is because we have the Tower on the 10 of Swords. I don't want you to collapse in a pile of exhaustion or maybe make mistakes because you're so completely exhausted. I feel like now is the time for you to allow yourself to not have to be in the middle of everything all the time and not having to fix everybody's things all the time. And if you're really honest with yourself about what this Tower and this Ten of Swords means, I feel like that's where the victory is. The Six of Wands on the King of Cups. For you, you also might feel like the water sign got away with something. For some of you, that's what that feels like, that the water sign got away, like the words got away with murder, came into my head, but I don't think anybody's killing anyone out there. Maybe not. I don't know. But I don't really think that. I feel like this is a victory for you because you allowed yourself to be open, right? To be present and to be open. That's what that Four of Swords feels like. And it may even be like there's catastrophe going on around you and you just need to be yourself, stay in your room, stay with yourself. Don't let anybody else get to you. Page of Pentacles on the Three of Cups. Okay. For some of you, I feel like you heard about a third party situation and that person is trying to come back. For others of you, I feel like there's a new journey, like you're almost celebrating a new journey that you're starting. The Page of Pentacles is often like the student. So it could be that you are a brand new student and you're starting something new to learn. But there's definitely something worth celebrating. And then for others of you on the flip side, this is about somebody that might have stepped out and they want to come back, but they only have breadcrumbs to give. The 10 of Cups on the 3 of Wands. So this is what's really interesting to me because I feel like you guys understand that this Tower moment up here had to clear the path for this. Like the things that are happening in the beginning of July need to clear the path so that you can look forward and see and manifest that 10 of Cups. Let's clarify the Knight of Pentacles. Okay. Bottom of the deck is the Knight of Cups. All right. So there are things coming to you. Like I said, be open to receive. There's a lot of stuff coming to you. And the direction that you're moving in, I feel like there's a lot of opportunities coming towards you as well. And this is what I mean by make sure that you are getting that rest and you're really kind of like recharging your battery, because whatever the Tower moment's going to be, like, I feel like you think that it might be worse than it actually is. And maybe it is just as worse as you thought it was going to be, but it's clearing out the road so that you can pave a new one, right? It's demolishing parts of the environment that you're in so that you can get into a new environment, or you can rebuild, without all that, the broken bones and stuff. Hanged Man with the 2 of Swords. Gosh, Capricorn, they just popped out. Like literally after the 7 of Cups came out, these 2 cards popped out. I don't feel like this is wait for the information. Like typically that's something that I would say is like, wait for the information. This is, I really want to say to you guys that you already have the information. You already know what to do. You already understand the things that are happening and the direction that you need to go in. And you also understand that it's time for you to start saving your money and be very discerning about the boundaries that you have. Because you don't want whatever happens, whatever this Tower and 10 of Swords business is, you're not doing it again. You're like, this is the last time. Judgment. This is the last time. It's just not happening. July feels very definitive for a lot of signs, like where they're kind of drawing a line in the sand and they're not letting the BS come at them. That's what this feels like as well. I I think that whatever it is that the information that you have, I feel like you need to keep it to yourself. I also feel like that's what the Four of Pentacles and the Seven of Wands feels like. I feel like you need to keep it to yourself, and like maybe you can tell some trusted people, but just make sure that you're not telling the internet or anything what you're doing. Because I feel like it's really important for you to hang on to. Almost so that it's not used against you. I don't know what that means. Some of you knows what that means. So I love you guys. I hope that you have a wonderful July. Take really good care of yourselves and everybody else, and I will see you soon. Bye.